place.
Yeah, where is that?
Time to pay Nala a visit.
Oh, I like your thinking, Laura. It's quite the noggin you've got. So now we have another mini level, which I didn't play on my test run, by the way, but it's pretty simple as far as I remember. I stopped at this point so that I could come film with you guys. So this is probably the closest we'll get to something blind on the LP. In the end, Amanda helped me a great deal by digging up the Queen of Atlantis and keeping her caged. Now, with Thor's hammer, I have the power to force Natla to tell me the location of Helheim and then to remove her from this world forever. You know what's so weird about this game? It's like, as far as being a sequel goes, you can actually watch that last episode I did of Legend. You can go back and hear what I have to say. And I still agree with it. I'm like, they change it so much, not just like mechanics or whatever, but they completely changed the story. It's like Amanda, it's just been mentioned here. In the end, Amanda helped me a great deal. Fucking Amanda was a massive character of the previous game. We've seen her in one cutscene, and she said barely anything. And she like did a retarded thing where she threw the artifact in the water, but still, that's all we've seen. And she's like a massive part. It's weird. I don't know. It's just something just doesn't sit. It's strange. Anyway, you're gonna want to put Lara in some kind of a low cut top here. So let's not go with Jungle Heavy. Let's go with Jungle Pants. And I don't know, the assault rifle. Let's go back with the shotgun. Let's go back. We're gonna be on this boat again. It's the exact same boat. Do you remember how they said it's a sister ship? I can't remember if I mentioned this last we heard. Do you remember Zip mentioned they were at Thailand picking through our leftovers? That's why you want her to be in a low cut top, by the way. Do you remember he said we were picking through she was picking through our leftovers, sorry? It's basically just an excuse saying that it's a sister ship, I think, because they were like, look, we spent all this time making this ship. It's an awesome looking ship, and it is, it's cool. It's like, now we've blown it up and we're not going to be able to come back here. So, hey, why don't we just add another level with the ship? Oh, but then, you know, it won't look very similar. It's fine, we'll put it in a storm, and they'll love it. So, that's what they did. So, we're back on the ship. It's literally all the same. It may as well just be the same ship. The background looks incredible here, though. Look at that. I just love how you can see the land and the lightning striking down. It is cool. It is cool. One of my favourite things about like playing Oblivion when I used to mod it and that was figuring out the weather mods. I had such a perfect thing with, in my opinion anyway, with the weather mods that made the most realistic looking lightning and the sounds as well. I couldn't play it without having my bass up on max because someone had created this amazing pack with, by the way, if you try and dive in the water, that's why I'm standing around like a fool. She will swim, but it just loads you back into the level. Someone had made this amazing pack, right, where the thunder and stuff sounded as good, if not better, than it does in real life. I only say that because I love storms, and we never really have them in England. There used to be more, I think. I hear weird stuff from people that I don't know whether it's actually like confirmed or not, but it's one of those things people just around me tend to say, and it's that like 50 years ago, it would be seasons were far more defined, and obviously the climate of the planet is changing and that, you know, global warming and all that. But people do say that, like 50 years ago, like my nan, for example, while she was growing up, it would be like spring would feel very, very different to summer, and so would autumn. And obviously summer and winter would feel very different as well. And it would snow more in winter, and it would be hotter in summer kind of thing. And there'd be more storms in those parts of times of the year, like in spring and that. There'd be more storms. It's like, oh, you know when winter's ended because of the first mist, because mist is coming out early in the day or something. You know, stuff like that. But I don't know whether that's actually true or not. It's just kind of, I think, taken for granted, and people are like, oh yeah, that could be true. But in any case, we never get storms anymore, whether there used to be more or not. Where I live, you sometimes get a storm, but it will be a few claps of thunder, nothing serious. I once had a storm where there was a really loud clap of thunder that shook the house, which was really cool. But besides that, nothing. And they're really exciting. I love storms. So anyway, I used to love that about Oblivion, like how it just the storms, and you'd have it so that they'd be really rare as well in the game too. You'd mod it so that you would rarely have a storm, but as soon as it happened, you wouldn't be like, oh, for God's sake, all my vision is totally obscured now, and now I can't play the game kind of thing. You would just love it because the rain whipping and lashing against your face and stuff, and it would just make any little fight or any little thing just feel that much more epic in the game. Oh man, I kind of wish I got more into Skyrim than I did, because I could be feeling the same way about certain mods with that game, but I don't know, I never got that into it. I'm waiting till not Dawn Guard comes out, but there seems to be pretty good reason to believe they might, shotgun's a bad choice here, what we're doing, there seems to be pretty good reason. Oh yeah, we've got the hammer. Oh yeah, should we just start going nuts with the hammer? So yeah, you get 3 weapons. Should we try and go nuts with the hammer? It feels a little bit like Excalibur, as you can see there. I think you're supposed to be using the hammer here because there's quite a few people there. Oh, I love how they go flying. That's brilliant. Yeah, what was I saying? I forget. Shit. Yeah, no, I'm waiting for... there's a lot of reason to believe that maybe Skyrim's going to do some DLC at some point where they introduce, like, Cyrodiil or something. You can go back there. If they do that, a large expansion, kind of like the Shivering Isles or whatever, but that takes you to another province of Tamriel. Particularly, I don't know, I just kind of love Cyrodiil, and I'd love to see it there, because obviously, like, the Imperial, the White Guard Tower and stuff is actually there in Skyrim. There's just all these, like, weird little hints. And there's a path that goes to Morrowind that mysteriously just ends with a gate as well, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So, I'd love to see a DLC like that come out, and then when that happens, I think I'll probably go back to Skyrim. Anyway, I know none of you asked, or probably care about Skyrim at this point. It's weird, because everyone was so... I know I was so excited about Skyrim for so long, and then it kind of came out, and I didn't even finish it. I didn't even finish it. I still regret. Maybe that's what I should spend my day doing. Just playing Skyrim. There's so many games, though. I was in the middle of playing Pokemon Heart Gold before I started work, and I haven't touched that for ages. And I was having a lot of fun on that, too. So many games. The stress test on Guild Wars 2 on Wednesday, which I'm not going to be able to play because it's only open for 4 hours, and I think I'm at work for all 4 of them, which sucks. Because I'd love to get into the Escalon Catacombs. Or that dungeon in the Gendaran Fields, that would be cool. But I don't even know if you have access to that. I've seen the entrance, but I don't know if there's any way to get in, or if there is, what meta event it is. You've got to push to do it. Or maybe, hey, it's a personal story thing that's there, and you just don't get to see it just yet. Anyway, why wasn't I using this hammer earlier? Very easy. I love the way that guy just hit the lockets. Yeah, very, very easy when you play with the hammer. It's up to you if you go for it. But in any case, you will eventually find Natla once again in the same room.
Helheim, I don't care what it's called. Where is it?
Look at all you've done. Incredible. I will never doubt you again.
I love Natla.
Tell me now.
Very well. But before you put him to death, tell me, are you prepared to wait for Odin to appear and perform the ritual to open Helheim?
And you know this ritual, of course.
I'm sure you've realized that I want to get to Avalon just as much as you do. But neither of us can go alone. You need my ritual, and I need your hammer.
When you step out of line, you'll get it. Stop! You destroyed my home. You killed Alistair!
I got what I wanted. Isn't that all we care about?
See in the bloody... Yeah! Wait, hold on. Do I need to pick up the controller? Oh, no, I don't. No. Okay. I thought for a second I was about to have a boss fight.
You can die too!
Lara, you really are a woman after my own heart.
Get out of my sight.
Oh, the facial expressions on Natla there are incredible. Rewatch that. Look at her eyes. She looks slightly scared for the briefest of moment, but then she returns to the kind of smile. Oh, that was... Oh, man. So that's 4 characters there. So Crazy Lara just attacked, Amanda. Was Amanda's stake in all of this? Amanda wasn't actually ever really bad. She was just a bit of a bitch, if you think about it. And she was trying to explain to us at the end of the last game kind of what was going on. She just wanted to get there herself. Oh, man. See, there's so much for this game. But you just don't see that much. Should we go wetsuit or dry suit? What were we in before? We were in the wetsuit, weren't we? Because I remember thinking that she doesn't swim the way she used to in the old games, where she did the frog swim, where she proper spreads her legs, and I was like, yeah, it's obvious why they did that. Let's go dry suit. The Midgard serpent is clearly a metaphor for some monstrous ancient device, and even my father had second thoughts about opening Helheim, despite his desperate hope to find my mother. It's a risk I'm ready to take, however, to solve this mystery once and for all. I want to keep going. We're going to keep going for a little while. I don't know how long for. But hey, it's free and easy. You only live once, as they say. So we're now in the Arctic Sea. If you thought we were pretty far north before, Wait, wait, which one's the Antarctic? Which one's the Arctic? I feel like I should know that. So Natla just flew off. Not quite sure where she is. I think a dry suit's probably smart, considering on this level we're in the bloody such cold waters. So, this time we don't get our little boat. However, we are finally back in a location where there is a big swimming section. Remember what I said ages ago? Where I was like, oh, I always wanted Guild Wars 2 to have big underwater areas like this, and that was kind of inspiring to me. This, in particular, not the start of the first level, this is what inspired me. Look at this. This is king awesome. Incredible. I love the history you see here. Consider where we are, right? Out in the frozen tundras. But so long ago, there were people that lived here. This was all above the surface. This was a place where people... I guess the climate could have been very different as well. And look, you can actually see a road that they had. An actual road and like a big bridge even possibly with these huge like thing that just extends out and goes off and off and off into the distance. I don't think you can swim all the way over there. Maybe you can. Wow, you can swim pretty far, can't you? I love this. I really do. These swim sections are really cool. I think they were quite clever in finding the balance, though, because this isn't what people think of when they think of a Tomb Raider game. It's not. But these have always been cool moments in Tomb Raider games. Big swimming sections. 40 fathoms, to me, will always stand out as one of like the greatest moments and levels and beginnings of a level. There you go. There's the wall. So we can't go any further. But there's like this big long road going off there. Just, I don't know. It's easy for me to imagine, like in my head. Like I don't know, some guys with a horse and a wagon walking along here all this time ago, and just like going up to the city or whatever this was supposed to be. Oh, it's so cool. Just those little things. And I'm curious how many other people think that kind of stuff. You know, like those little unspoken things, like little images that might have flashed up in people's heads while they're moving around. Because you can have this one area like this that you design in a game or in a book or in a film or something, and everyone has a little something like that, I think, that goes on in their head that you never ever hear about, ever, because they're always such small little inconsequential things that actually, if you think about it, you'd never go up to someone on the street and be like, oh, I just saw your hair and it reminded me of a band I once saw or someone I once knew or something, because people aren't ever going to be interested in those little things, I think, in general. So I don't know, what am I trying to say? That people get used to having lots of little thoughts that we never express, and sometimes it goes a bit further than that. By the way, I'm just swimming around looking for secrets at the moment, because I know there will be some. Well, there's a cog that we can pick up here. By the way, this is all blind, don't forget, so I don't know where precisely we're going. But yeah, I think people always have like little thoughts, and we get used to... So we use Thingy's power to actually move this, and we're underwater, so I guess that helps, which is really kind of cool. Explains why this moves in such a crazy way. A really crazy way, in fact, actually. Jesus, I'd completely forgotten about this. I'm not even sure where we need to move this to. Somewhere. Something, maybe in one of these towers, at the top of one of these towers. We need to get something working. Let's just have a swim around first. I like that there's a... Wait, can I... I don't seem to be able to get rid of this. And now I'm under attack. Okay, I can if I start shooting. There we go. I like that there's actually things alive here. Oh, and we can use the hammer as well. Yeah. Instant kill. Man, the hammer's awesome. Because it's like in the first game you had Excalibur, which was cool to use, but you didn't get to use it for that long. And now we get the hammer, obviously. I think you put it in the back of their heads or something. Let's go have a look. I remember something to do with these statues. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everyone just says stuff. And that always fascinates me. That people think stuff, but they don't say it. The amount of things like that as well. Like me in particular. I think most people are like this. I think it would be stupid to suggest someone wasn't. But... yeah, what's going on in here? We got this. Okay, we can lift up the sword. But like, when you're falling asleep, I'm sure everyone has this. If you can't quite sleep, or you're in the right kind of mood, you're not absolutely knackered, but you know you need to go to bed. Maybe you've had a day where much hasn't happened, or maybe you've had a day where a lot's happened. No, where much hasn't happened, so you don't have much to reflect on. Then I think it's really easy to just start thinking about all kinds of crazy stuff. And since I've started LPing, I've always kind of regretted it while I was asleep there at night, thinking to myself, oh, I've got this to say, you know, this is a really weird little observation or something that's always interesting to me, but because you're just laying there in bed and you know it only ever happens in that moment, and it's the same wherever you are in the world. There's weird little interesting stuff I think people come up with, but if nobody else can share in the context of where that came from, clearly we don't need to put that there, then you miss it. You miss it completely, and everyone must be full of those little things. It seems like a shame to me that you can think something and no one will ever know, and it never impacts the world in any way, and it never means anything. Especially when we're talking about, you know, once you're dead or whatever. It's like you can have all these little things, and they're who you are, those little thoughts. Is that a grenade I just threw accidentally? They're your thoughts. They're kind of what defines you, right? But no one's ever going to know or care about half of that stuff. So, I don't know. Ever since I've been able to just do this and sit down and actually have people listen to the random shit I talk about, it makes me think, oh, you should say every little thing that comes to your head, because otherwise it's lost forever kind of thing, and it's wasted. And even just pointing that out in a way kind of is what I'm talking about. You know, people don't mention that either. I've never heard anyone, you know, I watch quite a few LPs and that. No one often points that out, that there's little things that go on that, I don't know, I'm rambling now, and there's a lot of sharks here and I'm suddenly getting very scared. Maybe we should end this level, this thing here. I don't know, what do you think, guys? I need to figure out what we're doing anyway. Oh, hold on, we've got some cogs there. Oh, and I can see 2 things there. Alright, hold on. No, we can complete this. I see what we've got to do. We've got to lift up all of the swords, but this sword's broken because some of the cogs have fallen off. The sharks don't want to fight me, apparently, which is good. Like, sharks I don't even have a fear of, really. I saw a film. I never had much of a fear. I'm kind of scared of water, like the sea. Not scared, but I always get a bit weird when I go out swimming at the ocean, because when I was younger, I told someone this recently. This wasn't on video, was it? But when I was younger, one of the first times really that I went in the sea, you know, you get like, I don't know whether you do everywhere, but in a lot of the crappy kind of England beaches you get, there's always like big like bushes worth of seaweed and stuff that kind of float around where you want to go out swimming, and I trod in one of those, and inside it was like a jellyfish that kind of wrapped around my foot kind of thing and like stung me, and that was horrible. And I was quite young at the time. I'm sure it wouldn't have hurt that bad. It's like when you're young, you get stung by a bee and you suddenly have an irrational fear of them or whatever, and then you get stung when you're old and you're like, that's not actually that bad. But that happened, and ever since, like, I get a little bit freaked out by seaweed. Even just seaweed is like, oh shit, is something in there? Something. So yeah, I'll go out swimming in the sea and stuff. I don't ever really bitch about it, but it's always something that's there in the back of my mind now. I'm like shitting it that something's gonna come and sting me. Especially when you hear about like these crazy Australian beaches and like New Zealand, or just anywhere remotely tropical, where in a certain season you literally cannot go to the beach because it's swarming with jellyfish. That's a terrifying thought. What the hell? How can people go to beaches like that? Sharks though don't really scare me. There's always people that get scared by sharks, but it's like, I think I was helped quite a lot. Obviously I've never been thought to be scared of sharks because there's not going to be a shark around in England, but also what film was it? I saw this it's a really crappy film. I'm not recommending it. I can't even remember it anymore. Do we pull this now and are we good? I don't even know what we're doing here. But yeah, they go swimming. They're like trying to save this shipwreck or something, or they're salvagers. I think is it a horror? I don't even think it's a horror. It's a terrible film. They're like all teenagers or something. So the thing's showing me here. And anyway, there's a scene at the start where they are swimming around with some sharks, and they're like, oh, it's just popular culture that says that sharks are actually dangerous. They're not dangerous at all. You can just swim around. It's only like when they're hungry or when blood's been drawn or something like that that they start going kind of crazy at you. Alright, okay, so we've lit that up. Litten? That's not a word, is it? We need to find another gem. I vaguely remember this puzzle to light up that other one. Do we have the same thing on this side? We do. So we need to find 3 gems. Is that a secret? See, that's something funny as well. If they've got secrets just laying around here, who's to say that one of the secrets is more hidden than one of the gems, which you actually need to go and complete the level? What about in here? Have you noticed how all the architecture, by the way, as I mentioned before, is going to become very similar? Is that a secret? That's a secret. So like, we're just pretty much get used to this architecture now. It was the architecture we saw in the last level, and it's going to be the architecture we see here. There's no other society that's built on top of this stuff. It's literally it's all this here. Maybe around in here? I don't know. The underwater areas are just such huge, huge places. And the sharks are about to kill me, literally. Will you please go away? I was just talking about how I'm not scared of sharks. Just a second ago. And I've only got the pistols, but I've got the hammer as well. Ready? Oh, come on, Lara. Why'd you take so long to swing? You could have killed him. There we go. I have no idea if I'm going the right way. Maybe we should call this a day. The thing is, I don't want there to be a bad... Well, hold on. I can just save it, can't I? I can just save it. Alright. Okay. That's fine. You're not allowed to override save games. Yeah, how do I create a new save? Save game. That just scrolls through them. They're all auto-saves. Oh, here we go. Empty. There we go. Save game 1. Okay. Wooden... Potatoes. Potatoes. There we go. Cool. Right, yeah, so a bit of a weird transition this time. Next time we'll have this level properly. Sorry I've just spent so long rambling and not really made any progress. Hope you guys liked it anyway. And I guess I'll see you next week, I guess. It'll probably be a while before I can film again because I'm not going to have next Friday off, am I? Okay, so there you go, guys. I'll see you about. See you next time. Hope you have a good day, a nice week, and nice everything. See you next time.